Hi everyone, welcome back to Singapore Maths Academy. This is Mohi taking you through another word problem that I found on a newspaper, believe it or not. I was just looking through some articles and a question appeared and it said something like a problem that no one can solve, right? So I thought, let's have a go at solving this problem with our audience at Singapore Maths Academy. It says Klein read 30 pages of a book on Monday. Then it goes on to say he read an eighth book on Tuesday and then a quarter of the remaining, or the quarter that was remaining on Wednesday. And this question is a fraction question. So what I like to use for fraction questions is our trusted tool, which is the bar model approach. We're one of the expert tuition centers that teach the bar modeling approach. And I got stuck in my words there. And we know that how powerful it is for problem solving and for 11 plus as well. And just for normal school, actually, especially primary school. And so I want to show you a phenomenal method. Now, you might want to pause our video here at this stage and have a go at this question, or have a go with your child, or let your child have a go, right? But do have a go yourself as a parent, because it is a challenging question. And then what you can do is you can unpause and watch me go through this. So it says here that, he's got 30 pages that he reads on Monday, an eighth on Tuesday, a quarter on Wednesday, and that's how he completed the whole book. So it can be quite challenging for a child, like, where do I start here? And so the bar modeling approach gives us a really cool way to get started. Now, I don't want to draw an eighth or a quarter or the 30. I want to kind of start off with something like this. I want to start off something like this because I know that it's going to be the whole book. This bar represents the whole book. So what am I going to do next then? Well, I know that he reads 30 pages and then an eighth and then a quarter. So I'm going to do something like this. I'm going to say he reads, let's say, about 30 pages, which is about, let's say, here. So that's 30 pages. Then he reads an eighth of the book on Tuesday, so maybe something like this. That's looks like about an eighth, and this looks just about like a quarter of the book. And so you can see here that this is how the whole book is read. You can see that he's read 30 pages at first, then the eighth of the book, then a quarter of the book, which was the last part that was remaining. And all together, that's the whole book that he's read. How do I solve this? Can you see how to solve this? Maybe it's a bit unclear for us. So first step for me would be to kind of work out, okay, what portion of the book is this? Because if I can work out the portion of the book that he's read at the end, the eighth and a quarter, then I would know, or I could work out, what portion of the book represents 30 pages. So here, an eighth plus a quarter, an eighth is equal to an eighth is equal to an eighth. An eighth add a quarter is what I meant to say. And a quarter is equal to 2/8, right? So what we're adding is an eighth add 2/8. This is an equivalent fraction to a quarter, right? A quarter is equivalent to 2/8, and so an eighth add a quarter is the same as an eighth add 2/8, which is giving us 3/8. So now I know that all of this section here is equal to 3/8. Does that make sense to you? Let me know in the comments below if that makes sense to you, or even if that doesn't make sense to you. I'll put my working out here now. All right, the next step. Now that we've worked out this is 3/8, that must mean that this is 5/8 of the book. So if 5/8 of the book is represented by 30 pages. My words are not coming out properly today. Then I know, what do I know? I know I can work out 1/8. Does that make sense? 5/8 is 30 pages. 1/8 therefore must be 30 divided by 5, which is to 6. 1/8 of the book is 6 pages. I know all of this is 8/8 of the book. So we've got 8 times 6, we've got 48 pages. So the question is, how many pages are there in the book? There are 48 pages in the book. Let's see if that's right. Okay, let's go back a step and figure this out again. If we're saying there's 48 pages in the book, the first step is Klein read 30 pages. So 48 in the total books, the 48 pages, he read 30 pages at first. Okay, so 30 pages at first. Then he read 1/8 of the book on Tuesday. 1/8 of 48 is 6, so he read 6 pages on Tuesday. Then he read 1/4 of the book. 1/4 of 40 is 10. 1/4 of 48 is going to be 12, and so he read 12 pages on Wednesday. 30 pages on Monday, 6 pages on Tuesday, and 12 pages on Wednesday. So far, so good. How do I know I'm right then? 30 add 6 add 12 should make 48 if I'm right, because that's a total number of books. And that makes the 1/8 and 1/4 work well, and the 30, and so I would be right. So 30 add 6 add 12 is 48 when I add that together. And so yeah, 48 pages makes a lot of sense. So this bar modeling approach, you might not see the power of it just yet, but what it gave me in terms of me visually thinking what to do for this question is for me to realize that, hey, actually all of this is 3/8, and that must mean that this is 5/8, and that must mean that 5/8 and 30 go together. 30 pages represents 5/8 of the book, and therefore I could work out what 1/8 is, and then I can work out what 8/8 is, which is a total number of pages in the book. As a child, to use bar modeling approach, you need to go through a good series of questions, some quite easy at first to have practice using the bar modeling approach, and then more challenging in different types, multiplication, division, fractions, and so forth. And that's why we've got an ideal package for those parents looking for problem solving solutions. If your child wants to improve on problem solving, is finding problem solving challenging, or even is pretty good at problem solving but then can improve their efficiency, because 11 plus is a lot to do with efficiency, then the bar modeling approach is ideal for you. We've got a course coming up in the holidays. Check out our website, and we're developing a bar model course online, which is a pre-recorded course which I go through questions like this, then I set a few questions, and then your child has a go, and we mark those questions every lesson. So that might be something that's perfect for you if you can't make the actual courses, the live courses in the holidays. If you're interested, drop us a message, give us an email, give us a call, and we would love to speak to you about your child's needs. And we'll see you in the next video. Take care, everyone. Bye.